East Podcast, WATP.
I actually caught this on Tukey Soup last night.
Me too.
Was playing a couple clips of Opie outside of the Costco in his car. And I think I have an epiphany. I'm calling my shot. But before we do that, let's start off with Opie explaining why he's doing this live broadcast, which is still up on his channel now.
I am bored. 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 I am sitting in the parking lot. I am bored, bored. What's
Opie,
going on,
Opie,
man?
if you don't stop singing, we're not going to Disneyland and we're not going to McDonald's. So you be quiet back there, put on your seatbelt, and stop singing.
Whoever's singing back there better stop her. I'm turning this thing around.
We're in a parking lot outside Costco. I'm getting food out of my teeth, and I figured I would...
As Croge always says, you're not bored, you're boring.
Yeah.
And it really is true. I promise you, I'm never bored. I always have things that I should be doing and can be doing and want to be doing, and I just can't get to them. Opie is sitting there going, well, what else do I have to do? I guess I'll just hop on the stream and talk to whoever shows up. And he's outside in the Costco parking lot, and this was very telling to me.
I'm in the Costco parking lot. The wife and the kids are inside buying, like, just giant things before we head back to the good old city.
So his family is inside Costco shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in his car doing this impromptu live stream. And it finally dawned on me, something that I never realized, and I probably should have. Maybe you guys are way ahead of me on this. This is an addiction. This is a guy who has to run off into the bathroom and smoke a cigarette. Mm-hmm. He's an addict. And I always wondered, like, why does he keep doing this? He's not making any money. He's embarrassing himself, going to Gebhard's, doing all these shows from his house every morning at sunrise. He's addicted to it. He needs it.
Okay.
Like, why is he walking away from his family to be doing this in this car?
Think they want him away from him. He detects it, and he's like, well, I got important stuff to do anyway, so I'll be in the car.
See, we speculate on that, obviously. We don't know that.
No, I don't want to know it.
It could, I mean, I'm going to throw out a whole new theory on this. It could be like, oh, Greg, just shop with the kids and me. Okay, fine, go do your thing. We'll get done with it and be out. Because this is a family activity that they're doing right now. And they live in Manhattan, so getting out to Costco is a big deal.
Agreed.
Like, hey, we drove out to Costco. We get to spend time in a big building with all this space. This is unlike anything else we do in our time. And Opie's like, all right, well, I'll be in the car.
And all of his instincts are always so wrong. It's just incredible. Like, if anything has been proven recently, it's that filming you with your kids in Costco could get some views. Right. The only thing that's been proven not to is you alone in the car.
Yes.
That doesn't work. Yeah. And I think you're right, Carl. I think there's an addiction there. And I think part of that addiction, and it's something he shares with Aaron too, is they know it's not working, what they're doing, but they will not reflect, they won't look inside, they won't change anything they're doing ever, but they desperately want this thing to change. So what they become addicted to is like this Vegas-style gambling of what's the right time, where's the right place, all those things he can change that don't involve himself at all these exterior, what's the location, is it short streams, is it long streams, is it far away, or is it intimate? Like that he'll fuck with forever, thinking, but if I don't do it right now, I might miss that one golden super chat that changes this whole thing. And he's constantly obsessed with it, gaming for it, thinking about it like a gambling addict, and not present with his family. So they're like, yeah, just go in the car and play your little online gambling. We used to give that to Grandma. She used to love the little poker thing, and she'd sit there and amuse herself, and it kept her sharp, and that's what he's doing, except it's making him dumber. He'd be better off playing poker games.
Well, that's some foreshadowing, because he's actually going to talk about that, precisely what you're saying, like trying new things, seeing what works, and just continuing this cycle. So we're going to get to that in a second. But you just reminded me of something, talking about addiction. This is like chasing the dragon. Mm-hmm. So this is a thing where he was the host of this huge radio show with celebrity guests every day and callers and making millions of dollars. And we all go, why is he still doing this? It's like talking to the cokehead who's just like, you don't get high anymore. Why are you still doing coke? It's 5 a.m. What are we doing? It's just like, well, this is what I do. It'll get better. It'll continue to get better at some point.
Recovering addicts call it the geographical cure, that you keep trying to change things, never saying I could be the problem.
Right.
You're always moving to another town,
Yeah.
getting another apartment, new girlfriend. Something's always changing except for you.
Yeah, when I'm working in radio and podcasting, I am concerned with my voice to some degree, and I am aware of it and trying to just, speak in a way that people find pleasant. It never once occurred to him to maybe try another voice, maybe try a more natural speaking voice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the screeching at us like we're like animal children that is drawing people away. Maybe it's the angle. Maybe it's this, all the things that you can control about yourself. Try a new show, because Unleashed is just a title. You're still the same button up, tightly wound, incapable of change person. The only thing that's unleashed is the title.
All right. Opie gets Chad on here, and it sounds like he's actually learned something, and I think I know why.
So you're living well for yourself. No matter what anyone says, you're a huge success. Well, thank you, Byron. I just simply don't give a crap what people say about me. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't even know if half this stuff that you guys bring up is even true. So who cares?
Okay. This is a departure from everything Opie's been doing for the last year. We've been documenting it. Where someone comes in there and they just go, Anthony was talking shit about you. What? What is wrong with him? I did nothing but favors for that guy. I created him, and he did nothing but backstab me. And all it takes is just that one little comment, and he'll go. It's a free comment. He'll go off on a person, and now all of a sudden, it's just like, who cares? What are you gonna do? And I don't even know if that's true. I don't know if some guy just putting something in my chat is true. Well, I think I know why all of a sudden Opie has realized that, because Anthony went on his show this past week and said this.
Now, Opie loses his mind. It's the funniest thing. He loses his mind when he looks into his chat, which he does constantly during his, what he would like to call a show. And then somebody will say something like, did you hear Anthony was shitting on you with his friends or something? And they're lying. They just, I might have mentioned his show or his name came up when I was talking about O&A, and the trolls know it. Like, he gets like 30 views during his live streams. He gets 30 people that watch live. And out of that, I have to assume that maybe 5, and that I'm really giving him the benefit of the doubt here, maybe 5 of those people are actual fans. I would assume the other 25 are hate watching, are trolls building up a rapport so they could pull the trigger at some point, or they're sarcastically trying to annoy him about me. Some of them just pop right in and go, Anthony was shit talking you. And then without any checking or anything, he just goes, he's soulless, that prick, and then just starts shitting all over me.
Isn't that interesting? Anthony comes out and says this, and all of a sudden Opie goes, I don't know what you're saying is even true. I don't care. I'm not going to address it. Did Opie see this and finally realize what an idiot he's been? Seems like it. Adam, you were talking earlier about how his instincts are all wrong. Mm-hmm. He realizes that here.
What's up, Eric? I've been waiting for a Costco live stream. Well, we finally got it. I should have walked around and just messed with people inside. That would have been better than this, but I don't know.
So
nothing you can do about that.
Right, yeah. How can you possibly fix that? I should be
Already
inside
in
the Costco where it might be more interesting. And he could do his pranks. He could do the thing where he like drops some candy and the guy goes like, oh, that fell out of your cart, sir. I don't eat Snickers. Fell out of your cart.
Well, the car doors are locked and the wife has the keys, so there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I think he's stuck in this prison that he's in. But it's not all bad because he is making some money.
Coffee fund. John Court's $10. Yeah. Thank you, John. They're spending money like it's going out of style. So thank you.
All right, so his family's inside Costco spending all of his money, but he made $10 in the car. What are the chances he tells his wife that when she gets back? It's like, I made $10 while I was in here, so time well spent for me.
I think he got sent to the car because he started singing that "I'm Bored" song while he was in the store, and he
That's
just kept
exactly
it going. Like, oh, this is gold.
That's possible, I suppose. All right, so then people in the chat start clowning him for his new YouTube channel.
Bro, where's the leash? I don't get it. What, are you making fun of my other YouTube channel, Opie Unleashed?
Yep.
Probably. Okay, yeah, that's cute. Make fun of it. What am I gonna do? It's a perfect name for a YouTube channel when you're trying to stand out among fucking millions and millions of YouTube channels. So yeah, Opie Unleashed NYC is my other YouTube channel, and it's a perfect name for it.
What is that? This defensiveness over a channel that has 1,600 subscribers. And Opie's just like, no, I picked the perfect name. It's a lot of competition on YouTube. I found the perfect name that works. Is it working? Is that narcissism? What is going on there, Adam?
It's also crazy to see how within the same breath, someone will chat something nice and he leans back and he's like, you get it. You're my friend.
Yeah.
I love you. We're on the same page. You're a good person. And then the next chat is something critical and he's like, fuck all y'all. All you chatters are liars. You're all full of shit. Everything you say is bullshit. You can't just believe one and negate the other, Opie. I mean, Unleashed might be a fine title, but you're changing everything but the act. Try changing the act.
No, but he doesn't have to do that. Adam, he's found the perfect balance and the perfect YouTube channel. He's sure of it. I like his confidence on that, even though it's not doing well. Well, then a question comes in about coming on this very show. And Opie deflects the way that he does best.
Are you going on Who Are These Podcasts anytime soon by any chance? Why would I do that? No, I don't go on other people's podcasts. No.
Well, there's two reasons why he won't be on this show. One, he doesn't go on other people's podcasts. And two, he's not invited.
Yeah, right.
No one's looking for Opie on this show. He would suck the life out of this show.
You are so boring.
So boring.
And once again, can we just point out that he says, I'd do anything to make this podcast work.
Yep.
I'm trying everything I can. It is impossible to, be seen among the millions and millions of podcasts that are out there. Well, I'm pretty sure if you were to ask any starting podcaster or they were to ask advice, what's one of the first things I should do to grow my podcast? Well, you have to do other people's podcasts.
Yep.
That's pretty much how it's done. So first things first, because his instincts are so great, he's going to shoot himself in the foot before he even starts.
And Opie obviously knows that. On the Opie and Anthony show, celebrities came on all the time because they were promoting projects that they had. That was the only reason why they were there. That's the whole point of the publicist setting them out and doing the media rounds. And so the question comes up, will you go on Who Are These Podcasts? He knows who we are. He knows that this is unfriendly territory, but he has to pretend he doesn't. So he just goes, no, I don't go on any podcasts. I mean, that wasn't the question.
Both him and John have a similar thing where they think this Dabbleverse was just created the day they became aware of it and that it was created specifically to ruin their lives.
Right.
That's what they think. They don't realize this was going on during the Stern and Opie and Anthony days. There were message boards that did all of this. You were just so far above it in your mind and didn't need anything from these people on these boards that you could just ignore it. Well, now you need something from those people because the audience has gotten smaller and your reach has gotten smaller. Well, these are those same people who had the same critiques about you then. You're just becoming aware of it now. They've been doing this longer than you. So you should listen to them and maybe play ball just a little bit. Maybe just think maybe they have something worthwhile to say. Maybe working with the potato or jumping on some of these shows will grow you as a person and as an artist and your audience, because alone in your car in the backseat at Costco isn't working, buddy.
He's got no agent. He's got no manager. There was no one helping him with this at all. And if they tried to, they got frustrated and left because the idea, and I'm not saying Opie should go on this show or Kevin Brennan's show or anything that's in the shitverse. Opie needs to expand out far away from that. Like Howard Stern has created a whole new audience. It's like people who watch The View now watch Howard Stern or listen to Howard Stern. Like Opie is trying to do that same thing without putting any effort into that at all. He's got to find that new audience somewhere by going on other people's shows and promoting this. So then, of course, Jim Norton gets brought up again.
Are you enjoying Jim's new podcast? It's getting a lot of buzz. Good for Jim Norton. No, I'm not enjoying it. I told you I saw one clip where his significant other, I think I can say it that way without offending anybody. Jim Norton's significant other, Jim Norton.
The trans woman that he married, yeah, Opie, it's fine. You don't have to keep doing this.
People point this out all the time that, at least by example, Opie is so much more racist than any of the people he works with. What he just said is so passive-aggressive. If you were to say that in front of someone who's like, oh, this is my wife, and you were like, oh, this is Jim's, significant other, or whatever you want to say, Jim would never talk to you again, and you would be an asshole. But you say that. That's what racism is. It's like, I never think about those people. How could I possibly be racist? No shit, Opie.
Yeah, well, the example that we had last time where he's telling the guy who's filling his tires up that he's not going to call ICE on him. Yeah. You're just like, holy shit, Opie. You just assume a guy with an accent is here illegally and needs to be deported?
How did we arrive there? Because he was thinking it the entire time.
Correct. None of us would think that.
His mind and his sense of humor see someone and they go to the most basic, racist, analogy they can think of and then throw it back at them.
Jim Norton's significant other. Jim Norton's married, and his significant other was grossed out by Jim's farts, and it was a clip, and they're laughing and laughing and laughing, and the stupid thing had like 100,000 views. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Nice to see you wouldn't sink to that level.
I know, right? He's filming people cleaning up their dog shit in Manhattan. He's going, oh, this guy's doing jokes about farts? Come on. So, of course, Opie has the very famous
skunk fart.
He loves fart jokes. But he's not even understanding that's not Jim's new podcast. When people say, hey, have you been enjoying Jim's new podcast? Jim has a podcast outside of the one he does with Nikki Norton where he brings on other comedians and pretty big celebrities, and they're killing it. It's a great show. Call-in show, advice show, very fun. And so the question, hey, have you been enjoying his new show? Opie can't be honest and go, nah, I can't bring myself to watch it. I don't care about Jim. I don't like him. I don't want to watch it. Instead he goes, I saw a clip and it sucked. Not even the show. Not even the show. And the clip that you saw, people enjoyed. Let's get back to, I offer some criticism to our boy Greg Hughes here, but I think that Anthony, much more successful than I've ever been, would offer some better criticism.
Ew, he's still going after me. Herbert,
pause it.
Herbert's still going.
Pause. This isn't going after him. I watched the show at Gephardt's. I critiqued a few things. I said that Opie should turn that chat off. You have two other people in the same room you're in discussing things, and he's not paying a second of attention to these other guys. You got some mental patient telling a story in the back, which is great. He just repeats himself. Not Opie, the
He's talking about Rob the waiter, by the way.
Mental patient behind him. I don't know what his name is, but he's just going off on something, and like it would be funnier if Opie was paying attention and could comment on some of the lunacy. This isn't even an insult. Yes, I did watch the show at Gephardt's. Yes, I did talk about it. I wasn't making fun of him squinting. I'm going, look at him squinting. Like he's trying to read the chat and he's squinting. And he had said in a previous episode that no matter what, he's not wearing glasses because he doesn't want to look silly like I do with my crazy glasses. Let her rip.
Going after me? Oh my God. Here's something. When you spend most of your show going after others and there's a whole world out there, that's all they do. They don't have material. They have nothing. They're lazy.
I can't believe he said that with a straight face.
I know. The fact that he would say someone else doesn't have material and are lazy is rich coming from Greg Opie Hughes, the laziest guy we see doing this. honestly, and I was talking about, it was when we were doing, I think, Point Dabble Point. I was talking to Shuley about how Stuttering John told Ricky Melton he could do 90 minutes. Ricky asked him, how much time can he do when he asked him to do a guest spot? And John goes, I can do anything from 10 to 90 minutes. And I said, John can't do 90 minutes. That's ridiculous. And Shuley goes, no. He can do 90 minutes. He can do a 90-minute podcast if there wasn't a chat. The thing with Opie and with Zumak and Kevin Brennan, all these guys, if there isn't a chat to react to, they've got nothing. They come in there with nothing. And you see it in the beginning of the shows. If they're not doing roll call, they're talking about mundane shit like the weather. So this idea that Opie is saying that these shows that just critique other shows are lazy, I've spent most of my week prepping for the shows that I've done.
I remember
it takes a lot of work.
The first time I did some interview thing on Instagram Live, and this was many years ago, and it was a person much younger than me running the interview, and I remember something in the chat popped up, and it was from a name I recognized, my buddy Brian, and in the middle of the interview I was like, oh, hey, Brian, and I said something about that, and I'll never forget the look the host gave me. It was just like this, like, oh, look at the boomers, looking at the chat. And
yeah.
He just gave me this kind of like I felt it was something, and I knew it was about what I was doing. And it took me a little while to figure it out, but I realized, what I'm doing is a very, very basic, look at the jingly keys thing. And if you want to be a guest on a show, you have to just completely ignore the chat and just focus on the host. I had to learn that in an embarrassing way, but I learned it through that experience many years ago. Anthony, me, you, pretty much anyone that's ever been on this show and covered Opie has said, Opie, stop looking at the chat. We've told him directly, and he won't do it. He won't do it.
It's
He
his
has
security
to refer to
blanket.
them.
It's his security blanket because he doesn't have a thought in his head.
Nope.
He's not an interesting
and in his
guy.
mind, he's like, Howard had Robin. This is very, very different, Opie. And also,
Yes.
I love how Anthony not only gives him good, practical, real advice, but he's very comfortable saying, yeah, I watched your show.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have to say, some friends called me to give me reviews of your show.
Right.
Like that's a thing that happens.
Stupid Google algorithm. I was falling asleep and it just started auto playing your show, and then I woke up. It's like, no.
Yeah.
When I see that you have a new episode out, I click on it and I check it out. I want to see what you're doing. What's wrong with that? It's great.
What? I'm going to talk about it on my show.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you sound weak or insecure to say you watched it.
Just the opposite.
Who are these podcasts?